start off with, there have been so many vampire TV shows and movies. So what did you want to bring to Day Shift that was kind of fresh and new?
So, we shot the movie in 42 days in a pandemic. I didn't have a lot of time. And knowing, like, being an old, clever soldier, I knew that I had to focus on my strengths. So my strengths were Jamie Foxx and Dave Franco and my cast. So the comedy and the action and the horror, I really wanted it to be in the same vein, tone as Fright Night, Big Trouble in Little China, Lost Boys, Evil Dead, because you haven't seen that. Like, Zombieland is the only thing that's remotely like it recently that I can think of that I've seen. I worked on Blade and Buffy and Angel, and I worked on all these vampire movies as a stuntman. I just felt like it was time to go back to what was cool and doing stuff in camera practically. And, I didn't want to do anything super dark. I mean, you can watch the news and see COVID and monkeypox and, Ukraine and Russia. The world's a dark place right now. I wanted to do something that was fun and fast, and people wouldn't have to feel like some agenda was being shoved down their throats. They could just sit and enjoy and watch and maybe have a laugh and have a jump and get a couple of oohs and ahs. And, hopefully we did good there.
What were some of the vampire tropes that you wanted to embrace and other ones that you wanted to stay far away from?
So, listen, in the defense of my lead character, Carla, she's a vampire. Her job is to go eat humans, and, like, she's a realtor too, to sell property in the valley. She's not doing anything wrong in her mind. I don't want her to be some wacky, nefarious, like, she's doing her thing. And then her daughter gets killed by this guy who's trying to make a living to save his family. And basically the movie is about the two worlds colliding. You saw in the beginning when he fights grandma, how we use the mirror. There was a few vampire lore things that I wanted to touch on: that wood through the heart, silver to the neck. They're transparent in mirrors. But there was also, we didn't use the cross thing. I didn't really think, like, it was like, it's a whatever. And I just didn't want the vampires to be bumbling idiots or the union. I wanted them to be like, it's like if vampires coexisted with us, like in the Day Shift world, they have to be able to fit in, they have to be able to fit in or they'll be outed. So that's kind of where we took it from. It's, like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, they know they're vampires, but they're hiding and it's a different thing, So anyway, that was my 2 cents on it.
Can you introduce us to Bud a little bit and what makes him a great, but maybe flawed hunter?
So, I made Bud as when I got Day Shift, it was a much smaller movie. I got it from Sean Reddick and Yvette Yates over at Impossible Dream. Tyler Tyson and I worked on it for about a year together. I made Bud as much like me as I could because, got out of the Army. I have a 9-year-old daughter. He has a 9-year-old daughter. His wife is, tough. My wife is a divorce as an attorney, so that she's the Mike Tyson of arguers. I just made it familiar to me so I could speak intelligently to the actors. But one of the things that I will tell you about myself is somehow I fumble my way into things, but I got the grit to get myself out of it. Like in life, if you get scared and run away, it's better to do or die trying than not try at all. And that's the mantra of Bud. Like, he gets in over his head, but he figures out a way to get through it because he's an old Army vet. He's crafty like that. Salty dog, just like me.
How hard did you pinch yourself when Jamie Foxx signed on?
Bro. So getting Day Shift was a big win. Getting Jamie Foxx was almost like winning the mega lottery. It was hard to explain. I got a call saying, "Oh, Jamie's going to Zoom with you this week." And I was like, shut the fuck up. They were like, no, really. And when I turned the Zoom on, I didn't imagine it would be him. I thought it was going to be some of my stunt buddies pranking me, but it's freaking Jamie Foxx wanting to do Day Shift. My wife was right. The camera, the iPad is here. My wife is there and she's like, and I was like, playing it cool. Yeah, man, that'd be great if we did it together, but I was like going, Jesus. So it was a massive win for me and for the movie. And I got to tell you, he is one of the kindest, hardest working, most talented people. I want to be him so bad. My teeth hurt, bro. He is the ultimate dude and partner, not just an amazing entertainer, but an amazing producer. And he's also a director, which played very well to me. And Franco too directs as well. So having 2 other savvy directors on set never hurts.
Did you turn to them for any advice or did they give you any input as you were going?
Yeah, man, it's always an open forum. Like best, of course it's my responsibility, and what I would do is I would run really long takes. I wouldn't cut and I'd say, okay, go again, try it again, but try this. And then they would just run And I wouldn't say cut when it was hot. I'd be like, do that again, one more time, like, so if I threw it a nickel, somebody would throw a dime and all of a sudden there's $100 on the table, like they would just turn something. And that my job sometimes is to lead, sometimes is to follow, and sometimes is just stay out of the way and let it happen, bro. That was it. And that's what I did a pretty good job with letting them run, because when you have two hitters like that, why get in their way?
You referenced the opening sequence between Bud and the grandmother. That scene smacks people right in the face, right off the bat. So can you break that down a little bit? What went into the choreography and what kind of beats did you really want to hit?
Okay, I wanted the audience to not know what's happening. Oh, he's a pool cleaner. Oh, he's a thief. Oh, he's a murderer. Oh, he's a vampire hunter. I wanted to hit the audience with a few punches before they knew what's going on. I wanted to disorient them. The movie actually started underwater when he pulls the possum out, but then we put the montage of LA in front of it because it was a note that I got, and it looks great. But yeah. Starting under the water and pulling it out, introducing him so quick was completely unbalancing. I thought it was cool. Well, maybe next time. But I wanted to show that, and I also wanted to show how weird and trippy the vampires were and how vicious. Because when you see the old lady, you're disarmed. The grandma, even the grandma vampire, and there were 4 of them. There was the actress, there was a stunt double, there was a fight double, and then there was a contortion double.
Wow. So
I wanted to weaponize contortionism reactionize it and weaponize it using lucha libre moves and some MMA moves. And, and the reactions in that were played in reverse. You can't slam a contortionist down like that. You'll break them. But if you start them folded and they're on a wire and you pull them out and play it in reverse with a magical frame rate that I can't disclose on this, you have to do your own R&D, brother. That is how we got the Rex there. So that's how we reactionized it.
I don't think we've seen vampires fight like that before.
I hope not.
It was very cool. At the same time, even though I love that opening scene, like I said, when I'm watching it, it just smacks you in the face. How difficult was it doing the vampire hive scene? Because that's amped up so much. There's more hunters and more vampires.
For me, it was in the storytelling of it is that Bud might have been the best case scenario vampire hunter, but he's also got to protect this rookie that's with him. So he's got a twofold problem: not get killed, get some teeth to save his family, and not get the kid dead. Now you have the best case scenario with these 2 brothers, the Nazarian brothers, who cleaned out Glendale. So it's like cutting back and forth from the best case scenario to the worst case scenario with pissing his pants and, like making a mess of it. So for me, it was a lot of fun because Scott Adkins and Steve Howard are friends of mine. Oh, we go way back, and I love I filmed in Eastern Europe quite a bit. I have a lot of Armenian friends. And I thought, do a little homage to one of my friends, an Armenian brother of mine that's no longer with us. And it was a hoot. And it was the contrast of one struggling with one, like it's a blender, throwing tomatoes in a blender, so I thought that was a lot of fun. Did you like that sequence?
Oh, I love that sequence. And there's so much going on. And like you said, you move from, like Seth and Bud and then the 2 brothers. So you're getting kind of the best of both worlds, I would say.
That's right. And all the tchotchkes that the Scott Adkins had. He had his Zatoichi cane sword. He had his stick nunchucks. He had the blades in the boots, and then there's the garlic gum in the eye. And there's a lot of fun in there.
Yeah. As you said, Bud is kind of the seasoned pro, and Seth is the rookie. How much fun was it kind of playing those 2 extremes against each other?
Well, it goes like this. Seth's character was inspired by all the stunt men and women that I'm always on the road with doing all this crazy business that we're in. Like all of the apex stunt performers are all millennials and Gen Y and Gen Z. I'm Gen X. I'm 54. And I love these kids. They're like X Games champion, parkour world champion, MMA champion. I love them. I don't know what the fuck they're talking about half the time though, man. I don't understand anything, they're the same with them to me. We're there's that dynamic between us where we have so much fun, but at the same time, it's a bit awkward. And that's what inspired the dynamic between the character of Seth and Bud.
So
Gen X, Gen Y and Gen Z dealing with Gen X and back and forth.
I love all the references.
We can all laugh at that too. I think we can all laugh at that.
Yeah, and I love all your references that you come up with too for Seth.
Sure.
Last few questions. If there is a sequel, in what ways do you kind of want to explore this world more and expand on the mythology?
All right, I would tell you, so where do you reside, my friend?
I'm in Toronto.
Okay, cool. So I moved to the Valley when I got to LA. When you move to Southern California, it's hard to move right into West LA or Hollywood. You kind of have to start in the Valley because it's cheap, or down by the airport. And then you work your way over the hill when you make a little money. So I would reckon if we were going to do a day shift too, this is a big if, that we would probably do something in Hollywood. because there are a lot of vampires in Hollywood. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, look at the Hollywood sign would give you a little hint. But yeah, I would say to you that we would do something like that. And I've already got a whole list of new vampires and new ways to kill them. I got a big laundry list of stuff. But I don't know. We'll see, man. Hopefully we will do another one. I'd be so stoked.
Our readers are extremely stoked about Blue Beetle. What can you tease?
Oh, it's cool. I mean, we smashed it out there in Puerto Rico. We did, shot a bunch of action. It should be super cool. Super cool. I mean, really high concept wire work. Like it was a rough, hard shoot in Atlanta, Puerto Rico. John Valero was the stunt coordinator and fight coordinator, did a great job. His team was awesome. We had some of the best performers from the 8711 team out there just putting on a seminar. It should be very cool.
Can't wait. That's it, JJ. Thank you again for your time. I can't wait for people to see, honestly, even one of my friends who works in the industry, I'm like, I can't wait for you to see this movie. It's so much fun. So good luck to you. I hope we get to talk again, and I can't wait to see what you do next.
Thank you, brother.